What's up, guys? All right, so this mobility practice, this is one that I like to do for me, especially being that I'm running a lot right now and my quads get really tight, my knees tend to get a little bit achy. So this is one of the ones that I found that I do often to kind of massage around the knee joint and to open up the hips as well. It just feels really good. So this is how we're gonna start. Obviously, as always, go within whatever range of motion is comfortable for you. Breathe what feels comfortable. You can breathe, I want you to breathe in through the nose, out through the nose, or in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just remember, don't hold your breath. But with this, it's gonna be really more flowing of whatever feels comfortable for you to do. All right, so get on the floor either, and I would like to put either a mat or a towel. If you don't have a mat, that's fine. Just something comfortable underneath your knees. And we're gonna sit down as much as you can onto the knee here. So if you can't do this, you can obviously put a bolster between you or a towel or a pillow, or you can even just be upright here more. So what I want to do is just shift side to side. And I like to think about this as really massaging the area around my knee. So chest is up, and then if you want to, depending again on your range of motion, you can bring this down into child's pose. Just breathe and go side to side. And moving up with it. So I don't want to stay at one spot too long. And then back up. And back down. So what I found for me as well is with limited range of motion, because of a prior surgery on my ACL, this really helps to loosen everything up to increase my mobility so that I can sit back on my knees. Because typically when I sit, I can't do this until I do something like what I just did. So let's move from that into a pigeon stretch. So bringing it up, and the more flexible you are, the more 90 degrees you can be. If you're tighter, like I am, your ankle is gonna be closer to your hip. And we're just gonna do the same thing. Palms are on the ground, spread your fingers to open up the forearms as well, and just lengthening and kind of shifting around the hip. Breathing in through the nose. Nice and relaxed. Seeing if you can find and locate any area that may be tighter than another, and maybe stay in there just a little bit, pulsing into that area. And come out of that slow. Go into the other side. Breathing with these again, just follow what feels good. You'll feel some lengthening and tightness through the medial glute, through the IT band. Again, feel free to just move around with this a little bit and see what feels good, see what feels tight. And really try to hone in on those areas where it doesn't feel as comfortable to be there. And that's where you want to spend a little bit more time. Maybe take a few breaths into that space. Okay, good. Come out of that. Let's go into a standing position. Now this one is going to be something I call a deep knee reach. So I'm going to show you this first, and we're going to go through it. So feet are going to be either on the edges or right outside the mat, whatever feels comfortable. You're going to squat down, hands are going to go on the ground. So we're doing a couple things here. I'm going to lean over onto the joint of the foot on my toes, opening up the bottom of my foot, reaching the knee over my toe and pressing the heel of my hand into the ground. So I'm lengthening the forearm, I'm lengthening everything around the knee, and I'm also lengthening the bottom of the foot. So if you tend to deal with plantar fasciitis, this is a great move for that as well. So I'm gonna lean and point my knee towards the ground and turning my shoulder as well. Go to the other side, pushing the hand to the ground, and switch. And the more you get mobility through the knee and through the foot, through the ankle, then you can begin to release the hands and sit up with this and move independently. So if you can do this, feel free to. If you need to, keep your hand on the ground for stability, all right? So go ahead and come back to the center, sit back on your heels and stand up. We're gonna do a squat with an overhead reach. We're gonna do 5 of these and then go back into that deep knee reach, all right? So we're gonna inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. Hands up, holding the imaginary ball. Sit down, inhale. Exhale, stand and reach. Now go back into that deep knee reach. Sit down and just side to side shift. Good. Now from there, come back to center. We're going to go into a down dog and a pigeon. So I'm going to show you this. There's going to be a modification you can do. So from the down dog, you're going to walk yourself up into pigeon. You're on the top of the back foot, all right? So the tendency sometimes is to be here. I want you to be here. Because what I want you to do with this, when you come into the pigeon stretch, if you have the mobility to do this, you're gonna engage this glute and you're gonna sit up, squeeze your shoulders back together, really opening up this hip. Here, and then we'll come down and we'll push back into down dog and do it again. We'll stay on that same side. Now, if that's too much for you, if you're tight, just stay here and lift your chest up if you can. Okay, so we're gonna do 5 reps on the left, 5 reps on the right. So push yourself back into down dog, firing the quads, getting the heels as close to the ground as possible, pushing through the heel of the hand. Walk the left leg up, top of the foot, sit up, squeeze. You shouldn't feel this in your low back. It should all be in the glute and opening up the hip. Drop down, push back, walk back up. Here I want you to breathe however feels comfortable for you. As long as you're not holding your breath through any of this, it's fine. Walk it up, squeeze the shoulders. If you feel free to reach up as well if you want to. Do 2 more. Reach your hands up. Last one on the side. Good. We're gonna do 5 on the other side. Pushing back into down dog. Really press into the heel of the hand. Walking up. I like to lean into it just to really feel some length in that glute as well. Every time you push back into down dog, make sure you're engaging those quads as well. Opening up the hips as much as possible. Feel free to move around. You notice I'm moving. So whatever feels good, whatever feels tight with me, that's where I'm gonna go. So when you do these practices, these sessions, it feels good to drop down here for a second. Drop down there and go into it because that's where you need to work if that's where you feel tight. Pushing back. 2 more on the side. Last one. Good. Come out of it slowly and sit back onto your knees. Kind of scoot up towards the front of your towel, the front of your mat. We're gonna do our quad shoulder opener here. We're gonna do 5 reps of this. Remembering, if you have limited range of motion in wrist, forearm, shoulder, I want you to start this with your arms perpendicular. If you have good range of motion, I want your fingertips pointed behind you. And if you need to, you can put your hands onto something like an ottoman, a towel, a pillow, something like that. So we're gonna sit back. Weight is on the heel of the hands. Squeezing the glutes, pressing through the heel of the hands, squeezing the shoulder blades together. We're gonna inhale, exhale, and push up, extending the quads, extending the hip. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Two more. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. And exhale up. Inhale down. And for some of you, this may be where you go. If it's too much for you to extend the hip, simply sitting here and squeezing your glutes, and see my hip will elevate just a little bit. That can be the start of it, and that's where you need to be. So walk yourself back up slowly. And the last thing we're gonna do in this series is go into a crab reach. We're gonna do 4 reps on one side, 4 reps on the other. So with this one, as we've done in the past, and with that last movement, if you have limited range of motion in your shoulders, I want you to start with your fingers perpendicular to you. However, as you gain mobility through the shoulder, I want your fingertips to go to the wall behind you, to the space behind you, okay? So here's how this is gonna look. Pushing through the heel of the hand. Other hand is here. We're driving through the heels of the feet, not the toes. I'll show you first. Inhale. You're gonna drive through the heels of the feet, heel of the hand, reach up and over. Inhaling down and exhaling back up. Okay, so we're gonna do 4 on this side, 4 on the other side. If that is too much for you right now, I want you to simply do what's also called a crab extension with us. So here, you're gonna just have both hands on the ground. Wherever feels comfortable for your fingers, you'll inhale, exhale, driving your hips up into the air. Inhaling down, okay? So as we're doing this, you're just doing that crab extension, okay? So here we go. Hand in the middle, drive through the heels of the feet, heel of the hand, inhale, exhale up. Really reaching over the shoulder. Inhale down, exhale up. Let's do 2 more. Good, switch to the other side. Breathing in, exhale up. Two more. Last one. And relax. And good job. So that is the flow for the series. If you want to do that, go through that whole thing one more time, feel free to do it. Just rewind this and go through it again. You can do this as many times as you need to. This is one that, again, I really love to do after a long week of training, of running, of doing squats and things like that, where my knees just feel a little bit achy and tender. This makes everything open up and loosen up as well. So give this a shot. Again, breathing to whatever rhythm and timing works best for you, as long as you're not holding your breath. And remember to go through whatever range of motion feels comfortable for you to do so, right? Always be very aware of body cues and any pain that you may feel in and around your joints, all right? And just always stay safe. So if you like this, do me a favor, push that like button at the bottom of this video and subscribe to this channel and share it with somebody that you know might be beneficial or might benefit from increased mobility and some breath work, all right? Thanks, guys, always for tuning in. We'll see you on the next video.